According to a new C-SPAN poll, 57% of likely U.S. voters can't name a single Supreme Court justice. 57%, the overwhelming majority of the American people. The overwhelming majority of likely voters, which is even worse because they're the more informed ones, can't name a single Supreme Court justice. Yeah, this gets me mad. So, I'm mad at everybody for this. I'm mad at, honestly, part of it is, yes, personal responsibility. Like, you're a citizen of the United States of America, and you can't name a single Supreme Court justice, not one. 57%. That's inexcusable. Like, that's incumbent upon you to learn something about it. Google that shit, son. Like, that's just gross. So, yes, personal responsibility is an angle here. But I'm also mad at the media, because the media, mainstream media, all they do is cover nonsense, man. Like, I had on local news the other night because I was watching something before it, and then the local news came on, and it was like, oh my God, what the fuck? They were like citing TMZ as a source for some shit. Like, it was a story about the Real Housewives of something or other, and the son did something and got into a car accident and killed somebody or what. Who cares? I'm not saying that's not a news story at all, but they spent fucking 3 minutes on it in a 30-minute show talking about the son of somebody who's like a D-list celebrity who maybe did something. What the fuck? What the fuck? And okay, but you say that's more local. So I was like, I think like a state news thing or whatever. Like, I don't know. I still don't think it's okay. And then you turn on MSNBC and CNN and Fox News, and they're worse. Fox News is the propaganda arm for the Republican Party. MSNBC is the propaganda arm for the Democratic Party. And let's be clear, that's very different from a conservative network or a liberal/progressive network. If it was just a conservative network or a liberal or progressive network, not only am I okay with that, I actually think it's great because it's ideological. It's just people with a perspective who talk about things that are important. So it's like Ron Paul, like, okay, he has his own network. I don't agree with him on everything, but okay, it's cool that he has his network and we do what we do here. It's like a liberal, progressive view of stuff. I give you facts and then I give you my take on it. That's cool too. But these are the fucking party hack networks. It's all about the party loyalty, Republican Party, Democratic Party. They're always right on Fox News or MSNBC, respectively, for, Fox News, Republican, MSNBC, Democrat. And then CNN, neutrality bias all day long, establishment bias all day long. It's sensationalism bias in all of these networks. Squeaky wheel gets the grease. They're talking about things that Donald Trump's tweets or this or that or somebody cursed and isn't that unpresidential and Russia. And it's all the real news. How much time has been spent on any of these networks covering the near famine in Yemen with like 14 million people on the verge of starvation? About 7 million people who are literally one step below outright famine. Thousands of people being bombed to smithereens because we're arming Saudi Arabia and they're killing massive numbers of civilians and bombing hospitals and schools. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about that in mainstream media. Those are the real scandals. How many of them are talking about the real scandal with Trump where he fired a U.S. attorney because the U.S. attorney was looking into an obviously corrupt Health and Human Services secretary that he picked? The guy invested $300,000 into health stocks and then proposed bills to bump up those stock prices. That's insane corruption. Are they talking about that? No, they're not talking about that. So you got to teach people. The media is such a joke. The media, why? If you did your job well and covered Supreme Court decisions, for example, the right way, you would hammer home the different, people, the different justices. How many times would you have said fucking Clarence Thomas? How many times would you have said Ruth Bader Ginsburg? How many times would you have said Sonia Sotomayor or Elena Kagan or Stephen Breyer? But they don't talk about it. You would think, hey, maybe a good thing to discuss would be the life story of one of these people on the Supreme Court and maybe dig into their record and do a special on that. No. Can't fucking name it. 57%. So I'm mad at the media as well. But then also, I'm mad at the education system because we don't teach civics anymore, man. We don't teach like government class. Hey, here's how the system works. Here are the three branches of government. Here's how checks and balances works. Here's the Senate. Here's the House of Representatives. Here's what goes on there. We keep students in the dark about how our government works. And it's at the point now where, I mean, that's a crisis, that 57% of people can't name a single justice on the Supreme Court, when the Supreme Court arguably has more effect on your life than the fucking president. It's at least as much of an effect as the president. So, I'm just upset about this. My only solace here is that the right word? Solace? I think it's good enough. Is that I think in my audience, it would be many, many, many more people who can name a fucking Supreme Court justice. In fact, I think it's over 80% in my audience that could do that, which means you guys are a lot more, versed on this stuff and a lot more knowledgeable than many people. And let me also be clear about something else here. This doesn't mean like Bill Maher, who on many issues I agree with him, but sometimes I just vehemently disagree with him. But like he would look at this and say, the American people are stupid. That would be his conclusion. They're stupid. They're stupid. And my response to that is, no, Bill, they're not stupid. You can say they're ignorant. They're ignorant when it comes to historical facts, for example. And that's a problem and we need to fix that. Don't get me wrong. But there's a difference between stupid and ignorant. Ignorant is you just haven't been given the knowledge and don't know the information. But once you're given it, you got it. So I think they're more ignorant than stupid, and in fact, I would argue they're not stupid at all, because when you look at the opinion polls on how they feel about the way the country should be run, even though they can't name a Supreme Court justice, which sucks and upsets me, they're generally right in their gut instinct, and they're not masochists, and they don't want to hurt their neighbor. Like, a majority want single-payer healthcare, a majority want to raise the minimum wage, a majority want free college, a majority want to end these stupid wars, a majority want to get money out of politics. So they're not stupid by any stretch of the imagination. They're actually very smart. But it's just, they've been kept in the dark by the education system and the media, and they're not interested enough to learn about the Supreme Court and get the specific facts and the names and stuff like that. So they're ignorant, which is inexcusable, but they're not stupid, and we should make that distinction because it's a very important one.